Everyday superpower, we talk body language, relationships game, everything in between. I got some good game for you. I got some special game for you. I know you like the body language stuff, so we're gonna have a little peep into the mind of the non-verbal. The non-verbal mind, the unconscious. Yes, the primitive mind, the limbal brain. I'm gonna break something down to you. I'm gonna talk about the eyes, yeah? And we're gonna talk about attraction and repulsion. And we're gonna talk about the direction a woman breaks eye contact with you represents how she feels towards you. This is a deep one. This is a good one. You already know this is going to be a good one. And I'm not going to apply it in a whole heap of different scenarios. What I'm going to apply it in the sense of is you're walking down the street. She's walking towards you. You look at her, she looks at you, how she breaks eye contact, the direction she looks at, alright? You see that? I just manifested a fly there, did you just see that? That was here. Have a look back at that. Lord of the Flies, come on. I don't stink, by the way, the window's open and it's a warm day, but the direction she looks at after making eye contact with you is significant. Let's talk about it. You're walking down the street, she's walking up towards you. You look at her, she looks at you. We're not going to talk about left and right, we're just going to talk 3 different tiers. Upwards, even, middle ground, or down, yeah? So, where does she look after making eye contact with you? Now, there's so many different perspectives, so many different applications, and you as a non-verbal specialist or getting into this game need to understand you pay attention to the cluster of body language as opposed to the gesture. When you look at one single individual isolated gesture, that's like looking at a word. Whereas a cluster of body language, looking at the body as a whole and seeing what manifests in that moment in time, that's like reading a sentence. It's more sensical, it makes more sense. But let's just talk about this one particular behavior, and I'll break it down to you. First and foremost, looking upwards. She breaks eye contact looking up. And let me tell you, this applies if you're on a date. This applies if you're in the office, if you're in the workplace, if you're wherever and you are looking at this woman. And arguably with men as well, okay? If it's a non-sexual tingling, yeah? She breaks eye contact and looks up. She's not bothered. She's placing you below her by looking upwards to the sky. When she breaks eye contact and looks up, that's significant of her feeling like she's either too good for you or she's almost disgusted by what she sees or should not be looking at you. She shouldn't be looking at you. She might have a husband who would be disgusted at the idea of her looking at you, and respectfully speaking, she's broken contact and looked up towards the sky as if to say, oh, I've got better things to look at. When do we ever look upwards? Biologically speaking, we always look forward. We look down to the floor from time to time. We never really pay attention as to what's above us. Consciously speaking, we don't really do that. So sometimes you can go around your city centre and pay attention to the roofs and the sculpting of the architecture on top of these buildings you've seen your entire life and see things you've never ever seen before because you never really pay attention. So it's incredible that after making eye contact with you, suddenly she has interest with what's going on up and above. She's escaping to the skies, to the heavens above. She's not grounding herself on planet Earth to remain in your space. She's escaping. Okay? If we were to go into a particular field called NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, they have a particular understanding of what we call eye accessing cues, and where the eyes point and direct connects to a particular part of the brain where they can grasp onto ideas or create ideas or remember particular bits and bobs, right? If you were to look at somebody who's looking upwards, that is significant of someone accessing visual information, okay? So in accessing this visual information, you can question, why is that? Is she escaping by thinking of something other than yourself? Is she thinking of somebody who is like you, who turns her off, who is in her past and so forth? Is she thinking about the slap around the face her partner would give her if he knew that she was caught checking out another guy? These are the myriad of different questions you need to ask. And although it seems overwhelming to ask such questions in such, infinite possibility, it is in your benefit to do so, because you start to open up these doors and trains of thought that only allow you to see clearer and make sense of the patterns that are given to you in your day-to-day. If she breaks eye contact to the side, arguably it's the most respectful way to do so. If you as a man are to go to another man or go to a woman and communicate with them and you need to break eye contact, do so by looking to the side, because that is significant of mutual and equal break. Yes? You're not disregarding them to the point where they'll say, are you looking down your nose at me? Or is there something more important? You break off to the side to think for a moment. If you had to look down, which is where we're going to go next, it is significant and symbol of submission. When the head is bowed down, it's a submissive act. When you nod your head, it's a submissive act. When you bow to the kings, to the queens, to your friends, when you say konnichiwa, when you say namaste and you bow your head, it's a symbol of submission, right? I'm going to take my eyes off of you and lower my head. You could strike me right now. I'm allowing myself to be put in this vulnerable position around you as a showcase of my submission to you. Of course, not necessarily in like a weakness, but in a honourable and respectable way. In this particular case, as you're walking down the street, she may do so in order to submit to you, and that's where you have to read it appropriately, because she might also just be trying to avoid you as well. Sometimes you'll see women walk through the streets with their heads down, staring to the floor, which is indicative, if it's like a full-time thing, of a woman who doesn't want to be in contact with anyone. I'm not non-verbally communicating with anyone. I'm not giving you attention, don't give me attention, and they get on their way. So have you seen how there is a perfect contrast and parallel to what it could actually mean? It's polarizing. You have to make sense of what's going on. Don't allow your ego to tell you, oh, she's looking down to the floor because I'm the most handsome man on planet Earth. She might just not want to speak to you. She might be completely ignoring you, such as when she breaks upwards, you know? It depends. There we go. That's some game. You're better off her looking down to the floor than up, and you're better off her looking down to the floor than looking to the side. If you are a man and you want to be perceived as dominant and you want women to submit to you, which when I use the word submit and submission in these YouTube videos, they tend to get a couple more views. So I assume that's what you want, right? And on that note, I'm signing out. So click like and subscribe because I'm uploading every day. I got some serious game on this channel, man. 2 links down in the description. One of them will take you through to my catalogue of body language, how to read people through their non-verbal gestures. Over 220 videos of how to read minds. It's free of charge on YouTube. Second to that's the Patreon, where you'll join me in watching real-life first date videos. I'll break down the attraction body language, the repulsion body language. You'll see that manifest in the world around you because it's hardwired in all of us. I'm signing out. Peace.